Hello, everybody. Welcome to Game 2 of Anuzarg versus DeathRoW. Anuzarg taking Game 1. And spawning in the top right-hand part of the map, we have our aforementioned purple Zerg player, Anuzarg.
I just imagine crowds cheering whenever we do introductions. And
See, I do it.
spawning
Sounds like an Archon.
in just power overwhelming. Why did an Archon morph during the introductions? Alright, so in the bottom left-hand corner, we have spawning as our red Terran player, who's currently down by one game in this wonderful series. We have DeathRoW. Another. So Anuzarg's. This is really interesting. So I'm all about scouting early on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is a 9 supply drone scout against Terran.
It's coming straight at him. There's lots
I
of sneaky things he could do with it.
I don't know if DeathRow's like, oh crap, I've got the stream up. That would be terrible.
I really hope he muted it before you said that, in which case, because, oh man, that would be cool.
That would be cool. I my job at that point.
Well, yeah, the early scout is a thing that is apparently occurring.
Yeah, I mean, it's an early scout. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. I got nothing. Yeah. So,
well, yeah, I mean, we saw him have a propensity for some type of aggressive play, at least with the previous match. It was set up for that, and honestly, Anuzarg took advantage of that timing really well here.
Okay, so it looks like we got a little bit of lag going on in game right now. I'm actually going to take this real quick opportunity to see if I can rebind some of the hotkeys. Observer. Of course it won't let me do it. Alright, so for those of you watching in the chat right now, normally, on the GameHard interface, I have the best of and then who's got what games up, but those hotkeys in order to set that up are currently bound to the same ones that switch scenes on XSplit, and I can't change. I can't change.
Okay, so did you set it to the number keys at the top of the keyboard?
So Control Shift 3 in GameHard interface brings up the best of 3,
Yep.
and in my XSplit, I have set the hotkey for changing to scene 3 as Control Shift 3, and I didn't even think about it until just now.
Try hitting Control Shift S, actually.
Oh, it worked! Oh my god,
Yeah,
my hero!
You're welcome. It's the default one. Control Shift 5 is you have to press that in order to get the other ones.
So actually, hitting Control Shift 3 does in fact bring us to the game. But that's okay. I can totally hit that. I can turn off all the things and then hit the thing, and then it'll be fine. It'll be good. We got this.
Yay!
Yay! Oh, I completely forgot about that. Is that on the F11 screen? Oh, it sure is. I don't know how to read, guys. Don't worry about it. Okay, so it looks like they're ready.
Kind of. Anuzarg is checking to see if his Skype is still open, because that's the only thing I can think of that.
Okay.
Whoa! All right.
Whoa, text. That text. It'll go away eventually, guys. I promise. But as I was saying, a 9 supply drone scout is just silly early for ZVT. Like,
For
usually
sure.
don't see this unless you're going to be doing some shenanigans, or you're playing on delaying, or you know your opponent's going to try and go for that early macro type play. But even then, you can wait until the 13th supply drone to move that one out, and then it will show up at about the same time that your Overlord does.
It might just be a small error on Anuzarg's part. Honestly,
He just
or
really
he had
wants to know what's going on.
or he wanted to hide a drone in the base and build a hatchery up there, and it got caught, and he was like, "Okay, fine," and decided to bring it home. We will never know,
We'll
or we
never know.
might if we ask him and he decides to tell us truthfully. But hey, we can never truly know.
So it looks like the same opening from Anuzarg. It's going to be hatched before pool. I'm very soon going to expect to see double gas out of Anuzarg. And it looks like we're seeing a similar opening from DeathRoW as well. Getting that orbital command down. Probably see a mule come down here in a second. Or
Successful scouting of everything that's going up here by the SCV, and also stealing a mineral from a bunch of drones that were working, and then poked them in the face viciously a bunch of times. I like to imagine that drones do not simply poke or oh, okay. Never mind.
All right then.
He's successfully doing it just outside of Anuzarg's vision, so yeah, he has no idea. Well, he does now. Now the problem, unfortunately, is that SCV has taken so much damage he can actually shut this down with 2 drones.
The question is he going to react in time? So here he comes, pulling down the 8 drones.
He's really reacting.
I don't know how to count. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay, man.
Okay, so 2 Zerglings are out.
That SCV is dead. it's not surviving.
Twice, and then he's going to lose a considerable number of drones before this finally goes down, though. I mean, he's going to lose...
Actually...
okay, so that got shut down really, really quick.
Wow.
All right, then.
Okay. The last Marine's like, well, screw this. I'm going back home.
He's like, he's just like, I'm going to go kill this Overlord. You know, my buddies died. They only killed 1 drone.
This is actually going to equalize things. He's losing another Overlord back in DeathRoW's base. And if that one dies, which for some reason he's sparing it, I was going to say he's actually going to supply block. Oh, he has supply blocked him pretty hard.
So there's another Overlord here that Anuzarg's running really, really, really far out instead of just floating him over the high ground there that nobody can get vision on until you lift a building up or something.
Sure.
And DeathRoW had those 2 Marines that he's now sending around the corner. So Anuzarg's going to be supply blocked again. I don't see any more Overlords.
He's actually already currently supply blocked. So that's just about to hit, and honestly, this almost does as much damage as what he was trying to do, except it doesn't kill Anuzarg explicitly. Well, he's not getting to the Overlord, actually.
Why are you waiting? Is he waiting for 3? I think he's trying to trap it. Either that, or you just sent him around the corner and you just forgot about him for a second there.
Yeah, probably.
Totally acceptable.
Boom.
And now he's supply blocked even harder. So these 2 Overlords are going to bring him back to the supply cap.
I hate those Overlords. Oh, there's another thing we haven't talked about just yet, and that's the fact that this is actually, we now have a Zerg that's totally in the dark. He's got no way to scout what DeathRoW's doing right now unless he sends some units to the other side of the map.
Yep.
I need those Overlords, I don't. Also true words.
Very true. Seeing as how anybody who's watching in the chat right now knows clearly that Terran does not use Overlords to build supply. Hashtag sarcasm.
Or rather, he needs him to not need them.
Both are acceptable. Both are acceptable terms. Now there's a little Overlord party going down over here. Like a bunch of balloons just kind of bumping into each other.
Being large and floaty.
Yep. Scan goes down, sees Roach Warren. Sees the Roach Warren. I didn't see him actually click on it to tell if it was a Roach Warren or not.
No,
that could be a Baneling nest.
He sees the double upgrades coming down, though, which is, I don't think, usually... Well, you'd know better than me. I don't think you usually go for that when you're going for a Baneling attack.
So with Banelings, you usually only see one of the evolution chambers, because even if you go double gas on the main base, you're not going to have enough gas to produce the Banelings that you're going to need, because you burn through Banelings a lot faster than you usually burn through Roaches. So though Roaches are more expensive, you end up expending more resources on the Banelings when you start using them than you would the Roaches. So you usually see one Evo chamber working on like an armor upgrade if you're getting Banelings so that they can last a little bit longer. And then timings for like Baneling speed and then the attack upgrades, they vary depending on what kind of build order you're going for. Third coming down from Anuzarg. He's going to be just a couple of seconds ahead of the third from DeathRoW. So, looks like this is going to unfold into another pretty long game. Or a pretty long game this time. No Hellion pressure, nothing crazy. Just getting a siege tank out.
So, well, yeah, and so far this is going to be a pretty decent setup against what's coming, and it's still kind of obviously weak on that side flank. Probably should have a unit out there to actually watch that, but the watchtower is actually giving him a decent amount of vision in this particular respect, and Anuzarg actually not clearing that out, so DeathRoW should be aware that these units are coming down the map toward him right now. Yep, still not checking it.
No, we fell back. Yeah. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. You know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see a drop like right here next to all these overlords, like a full medevac of Marines, just to see how many overlords you can kill off. I think that would be pretty devastating to Anuzarg at this point in the game.
For sure. But more importantly, just as Nazgul here in the chat is actually letting us know, yeah, this is he's meching it. He's definitely meching it. We're not seeing a lot in the way of ground upgrades. We're seeing actually mech upgrades, lots of factories. He's got siege tanks, banshees.
Getting a banshee with a cloak. That's gonna
roaches are being incredibly irritating, and there's units flowing across the map. Oh no! Did Anuzarg just find another little timing again? That might have just happened.
He very well might have.
Oh, I think I don't think he's gonna leave this time though.
Yeah, I think this one. So he's got the Banshee out, and I mean the Banshee's definitely gonna eventually kill these guys, and it's gonna force the Zerg player to retreat because though the Roaches could stick it out, if he's seen the multiple siege tanks there, and in numbers, in like groups of 4 and 5 siege tanks, they will just rip through Roaches. It doesn't matter if they're armored or not. Siege tanks will just rip through Roaches because you can't really split up Roaches. They're not very beefy on their own, and when you've got all that splash damage going down, it's not a fun thing to have as Zerg. But in that wonderful little attack, DeathRoW did reveal the fact that he had a Banshee out on the field, and he is now getting double spore crawlers in every base. Pretty good spread on this, so we should be able to see this Banshee not do a whole lot of work.
Yeah, well, he actually does have decent positioning here to potentially... Well, no, yeah, he can't get in there just because it's going to pick up on him. He has to kill a queen first, even if he wants to kill anything at all. But with 2 of them there, guess he can do that.
Yeah, I mean, he can pick at this, and there's already a lair on the field. There's an Overseer in play, so these queens will be able to move in here, push that thing out, transfuse the hatchery, and yeah, this Banshee's been shut down.
Well, still good reflexes on DeathRow's part to get that out of there.
Indeed, because I mean, even though the Banshee's not going to be able to contribute a whole lot for the rest of the game, it's still going to be, you know, air-to-ground damage, so it's going to be damage that can't be denied with the current unit makeup from our Zerg player.
Sure.
But that's going to change in a second.
Yeah, we have Thor's coming out from our Terran player now. Spire Tech.
So what's going on right now is pretty much Zerg's worst nightmare. You've gone Roaches. You tried to go for a timing attack to pretty much crush the Terran player during a linchpin moment. And it didn't work. And you know that your opponent's now going mech. So as a Zerg player, you don't have a whole lot of answers. I would suggest if I was in Anuzarg's position, I would definitely be going for some sort of long range sort of tech. Brood Lords, maybe. I mean, if he's getting the Spire, the natural progression would be Brood Lords, because the mutas are just not going to do any damage against those Thors. Even if you magic box, there's plenty that are coming out onto the field.
No, that or even to some extent Swarm Host tech. Maybe somewhat necessary in the situation, though I would use it sparingly. The one thing I would like to see him do, actually, right now, though, is he still has these Roaches. It would be good to shark around the map with them a little bit, because, honestly, the one thing mech can't really do is be everywhere. It can only kind of stay at home, and everything's balled up in the center right now. He could be poking at the side base right now. getting a little damage done, running away, but when the mech comes to respawn, moving with a couple units and like a couple Zerglings or something into the natural, poke away at there, and just kind of slow him down because he really does need time to grab that really powerful tech.
Yep. And good scans are going down. Not really seeing the tech right away. There are mutas out on the field now. I'm not really comfortable. 14 mutas, it's a lot of mutas, but I'm still not comfortable with this choice. There's not
No.
any Marines. The Banshees won't be able to do anything. This one Thor will die really, really fast. So if he strikes right now with the mutas, if he were to engage this army, he'd be able to crush this army very easily. He can matchbox the mutas in, but that's if he knows about the Thors. But they're going to come in here, they're going to pick off the tech labs. In the meantime, the siege tanks are just going to shred this Roach army. It's going to have to fall back. There's nothing he can do with it. And the only thing that can really come in and mess with this at all would be that Thor, but there's just too many mutas here for that now.
Look at all the Banshees just charging straight in. No, turn him away. Good. I was like, no, don't do that. And yeah, he's gonna slow down to the upgrades. Whoa, run out of there! Don't run over the Marines. Oh no, not. Well, that was really good for a moment.
Yep. And that's really good Widow Mine hit on that one.
Ouch. Yeah, again, he's gonna grab a bunch of these siege tanks actually. It's kind of like killing all of a Protoss' sentries in this situation. It kind of hurts and resets things a bit.
Yeah, just a bit. But I mean, there's no mutas on the field anymore. There's 7. There's only 15 roaches. The standing army for Anuzarg is just, it's pathetic right now. I mean, it's 70 to 92 army supply, but the army supply that's out for DeathRoW is a devastating army mixture. I mean, even in small numbers, mech is super devastating if you can push out comfortably. But with the expansions coming down here, especially with these mules being dropped at the gold expansion for DeathRoW, the mutas can fly around, pick off units, and just kind of be really annoying. And that's kind of what Anuzarg needs to do right now. He needs to be annoying. He doesn't want to engage this at all. This is a bad engagement.
Yes, the Thor is not here though, so the mutas are actually going to kill everything until it gets here, and now he should leave.
And now the Thors are here, and
oh no!
He actually just lost every single muta that he had brought to the party.
Got a little bit too overeager there.
Yep.
So right now, though, we are looking at a purely Thor Hellbat mixture.
Yep. And
Banshee's there for support.
Yep. Banshee's there for support. 13 mutas, 11 roaches on the way. The 13 mutas could do a lot of damage to this makeup, but the Thors are going to be pelting them, and unless he actually magic boxes those mutas over these Thors, they're just going to get shredded. And the roaches will actually trade really, really well with these if he can fight it all at the same time. And he's just not getting it. And the mutas are getting picked off. This is painful to watch as a Zerg player. This is so painful to watch.
Yeah, I'm starting to think more and more that our Terran player is going to be taking the second game here. And I guess our prediction of going to a third game will probably be yes. Yes, there it is. There's the GG. GGG.